Hello folks! It has been quite some time since my last video, real life and family being heavily in the focus over the last year, so hello back! Now, what is going on with Camelot Unchained? I went from weekly updates to monthly to almost a year later. It's still being developed, we are still receiving the weekly newsletters with its progress, which is really dry to be honest. They're working on the tech, transitioning the servers to Linux, which they call Linux unification, which should result them in a better performance and less costs down the road. They work on the graphics, the game design, the classes, etc. Nothing new. Same story week by week. Many of us stopped following the newsletters or just skipped through them. If you look at the subreddit, there's maybe one new post once a month, and this is by people asking if the game is still being developed, or people asking for a refund. Well, as you can tell, the interest dwindled down for many people. End of December, in one of the streams, Mark Jacobs announced a big update for end of January 2020. Everyone was excited. Would we finally see what the team was up to the last months? Finally a good playable beta, rather than the alpha testing scenarios and not a real game. Speculations on Discord and other forums brought up the wildest theories. But none of us loyal CSC-sticking bakers could have guessed what was presented to us yesterday, Friday the 21st of January 2020. Colossus. A co-op PvE tower defense game, or should I rather say, a colossal disappointment. You play in a team of up to 10 people and try to defend hordes of NPCs running towards you. Trying to defend a tower. Like, really MJ? Now, many of us bakers feel betrayed. MJ was always about customers first and transparency of the development progress. And now we are getting this? A comment from him on Massively OP reads as follows. I have always said that I would treat our bakers as part of this development process, and not as working wallets. Legally, there was nothing stopping us from working on multiple games, nor any requirement to give our current bakers any discount on it. This feels like a punch in the gut, doesn't it, folks? So over the last half year, they had this idea, so he says, and presented it to the investors and everyone got excited. His premise is that this game will speed up the development of Camelot Unchained. Come on, really? You spent 4 months or more of developer resources and money into developing a new game, a new unrelated game to Camelot Unchained, which you say shall help Camelot Unchained. So I ask myself, for how stupid does he think his bakers are? They keep honeycoding it as this tech will be used in Camelot Unchained. The towers will be used in CU. Oh really? Really? Okay, Mark. The reality is, investors are investors. Capitalism is real. When they backed up the studio with the other big announcement in January 2019 with a 7.5 million financial injection funding, of course, they wanted to see some return in investment. He was saying back then they'd have no influence in the game or development of it. But here's the receipt, folks. They needed to present them something, even though it's not what we were promised to. No Camelot Unchained. And now they're hoping on some return to show off. But as I see it, the graphic and the gameplay look like from a 10-year-old game. There are even mobile games that look better than this. This won't make them any money, only more angry fans, more angry voices and refunds. Do you feel scammed yet? I guess you do. Of course, we have two fractions here again. People who have still their tinfoil on, eating everything MJ says with a golden spoon. And people who might have had enough by now. When we started funding this game 7 years ago, we were thirsty for a new MMO, for a second new Dark Age of Camelot. By now most of us have a complete different life, new jobs, switched jobs, bought houses, bought apartments, moved overseas, created families, and complete new life situation. Will the game still be relevant by the time it comes out, when it comes out? Will our interest still be there for this type of game? Now, are there any positive aspects to this? Well, the performance with hundreds of NPCs on the screen looks good. High FPS. However, the graphics are so low and bad, it should not be surprising to hold 60 frames per second. We all keep hoping and are very patient for the last 7 years. But is the hope still lighting up? We saw what happened to Ashes of Creation and Crowfall. Is Kickstarter funding a failed premise if rather new or unknown companies are promising something they can't deliver? Well, these were a lot of words. Nonetheless, figuratively speaking, I'm still speechless. Let's see how the story plays out. While the news around Camelot Unchained got sleepy the last year, it reignited now again, however with a bad light. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments and see you next time. Thanks for listening, folks.